and welcome to the Geriatric Millennials. I'm Beth.
And I'm Jayme.
And we're two oldish, youngish women just celebrating life. And by life, I mean Jayme's life, because I have a very special treat. I have decided that today is the day everybody is going to get to know Jayme as well as I do, as I give a little interview to your favorite geriatric millennial. Jayme is not prepared.
I don't know what the questions are going to be.
It's exciting though, right? So,
I mean, I think so.
It's not too in-depth. I only have 87 questions, so it's not going to be that bad. I think people are interested to know a little bit more about you and kind of what motivates you.
I'll tell them.
The first question I have for you is, how did you get to where you are today? Now, I don't mean that as a human. I mean physically, and not just that you drove your car to my house, but just like, how did you end up in our hometown? How did you end up in Washington?
This is a very long story. Do you want it long?
I don't want it long. I just want like the Cliff Notes versions of I was born here.
From the time that's a lot of years to cover, but sure. Okay. Yes. So
where were you
I was born
okay.
as a very young child.
Okay. I popped out just as a toddler.
I was born at a very young age.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I was born in 1980 in Canada, in a province called Alberta.
Okay.
And I lived there for the first 3 to 4 years of my life. And then my family, so I have 3 siblings. I am the third child. So there's 4 of us.
Oh, no. 3 siblings.
Right. So there's 4
plus
of us.
You, 4.
Yeah. So I'm not the baby. My brother's the baby. It's very evident even to this day. Okay. So I lived in Canada for the first couple of years. Don't have a lot of memories of that. And then my family moved to Haiti and we were there for a few years. I do have some memories of that. Then we moved back to Canada and we moved to a couple places in Canada. And then we moved to Belize in Central America. And my parents bought a school bus and took all the seats out and loaded everything up, including our 2 cats, drove from Canada to Belize.
Wow.
Into a Mennonite community. Didn't even know what a Mennonite was. Turns out they're really cool people.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, your parents? But we are not Mennonite.
Oh, your parents?
We're not Mennonite. No.
Okay.
Farming, remote, not a town. Definitely not a town. And I say not a village because there's nothing central. Like there's no town central. Like everything is spread out. Like all the houses are all spread out. Nothing is next to each other.
There's not like a market?
No, there's a store.
Oh, okay.
But no, everything is very spread out.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was there from the ages of 11 to 16. So pretty formative years in my life. And then we moved back to Canada and again, moved within Canada. And then I was kind of a young adult. By that time, I was like 19 when I decided to move out. And I moved back to Belize as a young adult. And I worked at a jungle resort.
Oh my gosh.
For a while. And then I lived in a village and taught school for a year in Belize. And I taught 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade all in one class with no curriculum. It was a challenge.
Yeah.
And so I did that when I was like 20. And then I moved to Washington State for a year.
What brought you
here?
And
that was so a couple of years before that, I had done like a summer program here. Because I had met somebody up in Canada who's from this area and he told me about it. And it's this program at a church that was for college age students. And you come and you live with the host family and you work at the church for the summer and they pay you. And so I did that. I had done that a couple years before. And I wanted to come back and there was a year-long program where you worked with youth at the church for a whole year and lived with the host family. And so I applied to do that and I came and did that for a year. And so that was like the second time that I lived here. And then I left because I got some boyfriend up in Canada. And I went and I moved up to where he lived. And this was in Saskatchewan, which is like the prairies.
Oh, okay.
Which is flat and really cold. And I don't know why anybody lives there. So I was kind of miserable for that year. Broke up with him, was going to move to Mexico, but I decided to come back to the Tri-Cities one more time for a summer. And in that summer, I decided to stay. And then I met my future husband, Tony. We got married really fast. We lived in the Tri-Cities for 6 years. Then we moved to Hawaii. We were there for 5 years. Within both of those times, so our first kid before we went to Hawaii and then had 2 of our kids in Hawaii. We went to Belize for a couple of years and then we moved back to the Tri-Cities. I mean, this is just like moving. I'm just telling you all these places I moved. Okay.
It's kind of amazing though.
We moved back to the Tri-Cities and that was 7 years ago. And
wild.
now we're here and we're not planning to move anytime soon. And we're like raising our kids here or whatever. So yeah.
Wow.
And I met you though way back in, I think it was when I came for that summer, that final summer that
You guys had just gotten married.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, we got married really fast. So like I had come that summer and then stayed and got married. And then so I met you right around that time. So that was a long time ago because I am in my 20th year of marriage.
Yeah, that's wild.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah, because I remember I walked into you because you were staying with your future mother-in-law.
Okay.
And I walked in because I don't even know. We have a mutual friend and I don't know why I was there that day. And I remember seeing this girl sitting on the couch reading her Bible. And,
I was?
Yeah,
Wow.
or reading a book. Maybe it wasn't your Bible, but it was something Christian-y.
Okay.
And you just looked cool, but I didn't know you. And, you know, it's just, I don't really like new people. So it takes me a minute. But then we just started hanging out. And then we did a Bible study together early on too. The Theophostic Prayer Bible Study.
Oh, I was like, I have no recollection of this, but I remember that word.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So anyway,
cool.
It's, so that's how we came together. But back to Jayme. Okay. So now that's good because now we kind of know a little bit. You've been around the world a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And you've also done some traveling too because you guys like did work in India and
we did do some traveling. Yes. So before we had kids, Tony and I did some traveling and we didn't like, I wouldn't say we did some work in India, but, but we were there for a few weeks.
Okay.
And we went to Hong Kong and Thailand and Mexico. And
so you're well traveled.
Yeah. Okay. Kind of, I guess. I feel like there's so many more places that I
know, but there's some people that have never left their state borders.
Okay.
So, okay. So I have random questions kind of about childhood, adolescence, and then some even more random ones. So, what is your earliest memory that you have from your childhood?
Oh, wow. Why are you asking me memory questions? You know, this is
but if
not
you
my
think
strong
back,
suit.
Like, what's the first thing you can remember? You know, do you remember the doctor slapping your butt when you popped out?
I think I remember, oh man. I think I remember nursing, honestly.
Are you serious?
Because I remember putting my hand on so what I used to do, why am I telling you this?
I love it.
You asked. I used to put my other hand on my mom's other nipple and feel it on my palm.
Oh.
Which is to this day, I still do things like that. Like
because it's soothing.
It's soothing to me to like have something like not a nipple. But something like like the edge of my jeans, for example, and I will just like rub my hand around in a circle. And I think it's because I did that when I was nursing. Now I will say my mom nursed me till I was 2. So I legitimately, I think that's my earliest memory.
2 is still really little to remember something. Okay.
Maybe it's just something I was told. Sometimes I'm like, is that a real memory or is that a false memory? But I think I remember it.
Okay. Did you have a nickname as a kid?
Just Jay, I guess.
Jay?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I've told this story before, but I'll say it again. When I met Jayme that first day, she says, my name's Jayme, like Jay-Z, because she spells her name Jayme instead of Jamie.
Yeah.
And so she's like Jay-Z, Jayme. And that's how I always remember you.
That's funny. That's so funny because I don't remember that at all, but I believe you.
What was the naughtiest thing you did as a kid?
Oh, I don't know. I wasn't very naughty.
You're pretty straight-laced.
I really was.
Mm-hmm.
I do remember, so when we lived in Haiti, I was probably around 5 years old and my parents had told me not to hang on this branch that was outside because they knew better than me. It was a thin branch.
Yeah.
But it was super fun because it was thin. It was kind of like bouncy, you know?
Yeah.
And so when you'd hang on it, it would like kind of go up and down and I could like swing back and forth. And it was really fun. And they told me not to do that. And I did it anyways. And then what happened was that the branch broke as I was swinging out and I landed flat on my back on this giant rock.
Oh, geez.
That I thought I broke my back.
Yeah.
It hurt so bad, but I didn't tell. I couldn't tell. I could not tell. I like held it in. I was sore for days and I was like, I probably should have gone to the doctor or something. And I was like, I could barely walk. Yeah. And I was like, I can't tell them how this happened.
Yeah.
So I just sucked it up.
Shoot, youth was on your side because that happened today.
Oh,
game
absolutely.
over.
No, I didn't tell them. I was like, like, because I had disobeyed.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So it was my fault. So if I told them, I would have also had to tell them that I did what they told me not to do.
Yeah.
And I just didn't tell them.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing, actually. Okay. What did you want to be when you were a kid growing up? Do you have like memories of you wanting to be like a dancer or this or that?
Well, when I was really little, I absolutely wanted to be a dancer.
Mm.
Definitely wanted to be a dancer. And then as I got older, all I really wanted to be was a mom.
Really?
Yeah, I just really wanted to be a mom. I didn't have a career necessarily in mind that I really wanted to pursue.
Mhm.
No. And then I thought I wanted to be a teacher. And then I was a teacher for a little bit, which is a different path. And
Yeah.
I could have, it would have been different. Like I was clearly thrown into the deep end with zero training or support, which is probably a very different experience had I gone to like school to become a teacher.
Yes.
But it was enough for me to say, nah.
Not for me. I just think it's amazing that you kind of just went out on your own at 19 and just kind of was like, okay, I'm good. Like, hello world.
I wanted to try lots of things.
Yeah. Okay. This is kind of shifting more towards into adolescence. Did you ever experience love at first sight?
No,
Interesting.
not at first sight.
Okay. Strong infatuation?
Well, I had a strong infatuation. It was not at first sight though.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no. But I had a major crush. Oh,
Okay.
yes. I remember my first
Okay.
crush for sure.
Okay. Did anything come out of it?
I mean, he became my boyfriend.
Okay. So that's good. That's
Yeah.
that's a
Yeah,
win.
it
That's a
was.
win. Okay. So who or what influenced your style and taste as a teenager? Like, what were you into?
Oh my gosh. So again, I lived in this remote farming community
Mhm.
and did not have access to any stores or even media of like what was like in style.
Yeah.
So I think that my biggest influence was just whatever I could get my hands on, whatever. I would trade my friends and I, there was 2 friends that I had that we were all about the same size, and we would trade clothes for like a month at a time just so we could have something different to wear.
Mm-hmm.
When I look back on some of the pictures that I have from that time, I mean, we weren't far off of like 90s fashion at all.
Yeah.
But I just felt like I was all the time because I didn't know, and I couldn't go to stores, and I couldn't like.
Which is kind of shocking because you're such a fashion girl.
Well, I think that's why I like clothes so much, because I was like deprived. Like I felt like I wanted to know, and I wanted to see, I wanted to have more than I could have. And I still feel like that to some extent. Not really. But.
Did you ever rebel as like a teen, or were you pretty straight laced? Like, was there opportunities to party or anything? Because you're in a Mennonite community.
Right. So there were certainly opportunities, but none of my friends, we weren't interested in that. Like we had a blast. We always had so much fun just doing stuff. And I had friends that drank, but I never had a desire or interest in that. And then when we moved back to Canada when I was 16, at that time, then, I mean, that's like a whole different world and a whole new environment. And I had some friends from when I was really young, before I left, like when I was 11, that I reconnected with a little bit. So I did a little bit of experimentation, maybe with them with some alcohol. I think I smoked a cigarette or something. I don't know. And then in high school, so I was there for 11th grade, and then 12th grade, I went to a different school. I wanted to experience public school, high school.
Yeah.
And so I went for my senior year.
Wow.
At a brand new school. And it was a huge school. It was like 3,000 students. And I had never been to a high school like that before in my life, and made like a whole other group of friends. I made lots of friends.
Yes.
I loved it. I remember, okay, here's what happened. What was the question? Did I ever rebel? Okay. So I do remember I had gone to my friend's house for a sleepover. I must have been 16 or 17. I can't remember how we got it, but somebody got us like a 2 liter of like a cooler, like a
like a wine cooler.
Yeah, like a disgusting soda pop with alcohol in it.
Okay,
right, and it was red, and we drank that, and then I got so sick.
Yeah,
and I felt so gross, and I went to school, and I was totally hungover, and I was just so dumb. But then I felt super guilty, and so like 3 days later, I told my parents because I was so consumed by guilt that I was like, or no, I think I had written something down, and I got caught, and like I had this opportunity to like lie about it, and then but I couldn't, and I was just like, so I just told them, and that was like the extent of my rebellion.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I feel like I was very responsible, and I just was raised to be pretty independent and like work. It was important to me to do my best in school. Like I got straight A's. I always had a job, and I just was a super responsible, like I took care of my own needs, kind of a teenager.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Did you end up any like cliques in high school? Like, were you a part of any, like, you're the cheerleader clique or with the band kids? Or
No, because I feel like my high school experience was varied
limited
for different, like I was in 3 different high schools because I was in Belize until sophomore year.
Mm-hmm.
Then when I moved to Canada, I went to a small Christian school for junior year. And it was the first year that they had junior year at that school because it had been like a young, like they only went up to like 10th grade and then they added 11th and then they added 12th kind of thing.
Yeah.
And and it was like a really small class. I mean, there was probably like 20 some kids in the whole grade.
Mm-hmm.
The whole junior year was like one class. So that was different. And then when I went to high school, when I went to the public school, for my senior year, there was just such I guess I didn't have the time to really like get into any of
anything because you were just
or any of that kind of stuff because like it was too late by that point.
Yeah.
But I did make a lot of different friends and I don't feel like I was a part of like a clique. No.
You literally make friends wherever you go. It's
yes.
It's amazing. It's amazing. So as an adult, like kind of shifting gears, like like you've been very involved with the church, it seems like your whole life.
Yeah.
Like it's been it seems like a little bit of a driving force to get you to a lot of the places that you went.
Yes.
Yeah.
That seems correct. Accurate.
I guess that was a statement and not a question.
Yes and no. I would say faith, but not necessarily church because I did have a couple of instances or periods of time in my life where I was working at a church, but the rest of the time, I wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, and now I am again and it's been a couple of years, but there was like a big chunk of time where I wasn't.
Yeah.
And then there was also that big chunk of time, like that 6 years where we had started our own nonprofit. So we weren't even affiliated with a church, but we were doing what I would say is like faith-based work.
Yeah.
So
they had it. You had the coffee shop.
We had a coffee shop and we had like a neighborhood, like children's, kind of like a children's church actually, where we would like do activities and games and all that kind of stuff with the kids of the neighborhood and then do like Bible stories and that kind of thing weekly. Yes, we had a variety of things going on. I had that reading room in my house and we lived in the apartments where all the kids were. And then we did like every Wednesday when they got out of school early, we would gather everyone up and like come and read books and read to them and read stories. And it was really focused on trying to encourage reading as a foundation for success in school for a lot of these kids. So,
I'm having baby flashbacks and remembering some of this because I was around. I wasn't actively participating in those activities with you, but I remember being around. And I remember we did a joint venture together once where I had students and we came and volunteered to paint your guys' fence. And we were doing what is that called when you're not eating? A fast. A
famine?
A fast, yes. And later on, you told me my students stole frozen cookie dough out of your freezer.
That's really funny.
And I felt so guilty. And then years later, I felt even more guilty because I was like, oh, I probably should have paid for that. Anyway.
So funny. I don't even remember that other than you telling me that.
It's wild. Okay.
It had no impact on me
Love
it did for you.
Love that. Okay. So, in your life, have you ever just had an unexpected turn that just really set you on a different course? Did you have any like big forks in your roads that you're just like, oh, everything's different now?
I feel like I've had a lot of those because of all the moving.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That just changed the trajectory of my life many
times.
Different times. One, I would say for sure was that the year that I graduated, then my family moved. So I graduated high school, then my family moved to Edmonton, Alberta. And I had a choice, like, because I was 18, I could go with them or I didn't have to go with them.
Yeah.
Like I could have gone to university or I could have done something else and I chose to go with them. So I do feel like that was one of those.
Big
I don't
ones.
know.
Okay.
And when I decided to stay in the Tri-Cities and then I ended up meeting Tony and getting married because that wasn't my plan.
This wasn't your plan?
It wasn't my plan. My plan wasn't even to stay. I was moving to Mexico.
Yeah. Again, you don't like cold places.
I know.
And we have very cold winters.
I know.
Yeah. Anyway. Okay. Do you speak any other languages?
I am learning Spanish.
Okay.
I can understand a lot of Low German. I never really tried to speak it, but when I hear it, I still understand quite a bit.
Is that from the Mennonite community? Oh,
yes.
They spoke German there.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
And everyone else is speaking Spanish.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Wow.
but in school, everybody speaks English. And so the English was the main thing everywhere.
Okay.
So I did learn a lot of Spanish when I was teaching school and living in the village, because my roommate, Spanish was her first language. So she taught me a lot that year. But I never actually have studied anything until now. And I would not call this studying, but I do have the Duolingo app. And I am on a streak of, let me just look it up for you because I'm proud of this. I am on a streak of 152 days.
Okay. All right.
So I'm proud of myself. I
good.
just do a couple minutes a day, but I am learning through this app.
Okay.
So, and occasionally I'll listen to a Spanish podcast and try to understand what's going on.
Sometimes, yes.
I can understand a lot more than I feel like I can speak.
So you've traveled a lot. Where's one of your, I know you don't like ranking, but where's one of the favorite places you've traveled?
Oh, Thailand.
Okay.
That was amazing.
How long were you guys there for?
Gosh. I don't know, a week or something. $5 massage on the beach.
Oh, lovely.
For an hour.
Wow.
Yes, please. Thai food. Yes, please. It was so beautiful. It was so clean. It was delicious. I want to go back there. I loved that. I love Mexico. I think that's probably my favorite country that I know of. Love the food. Love the culture. It's warm. It's beautiful. I love it. And then favorite place to live? I mean, you didn't ask me that, but I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
Hawaii.
Yes.
It ruined me forever. Nothing will ever compare. And I will always want to live in Hawaii for as long as I live.
Okay. Fair enough. So you have a ton of hobbies. Like you do kayaking and you do paddleboarding and you do all rowing, all this. You're always telling me about something.
Well, I want to do rowing. That's not one that I actually do yet.
Oh, what?
I do paddling. It's different.
Okay, so you do paddling and then you do paddleboarding and then you do kayaking.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's different.
How did you get how did you get into all of this stuff?
Well, when we lived in Hawaii, is when I first started paddling with the Outrigger Canoe Club, because it's a very big sport in Hawaii. It's really common, it's a cultural thing and it's happening all the time. And so you'd go to the beach and you see the boats are literally right there and you see crews going out all the time. And so I was like, what's happening? How do I? So anyway, I got to join in on that and learn how to paddle when I lived there. And I didn't do it competitively. It was just recreational league, but it was a sunrise crew. And it was so amazing to go out on the ocean when the sun was coming up and surf waves with an outrigger canoe off the beach in Lanikai. Are you kidding me? It was amazing. And I got really strong back muscles from it, which was great. So anyway, so that's when I started with the paddling with the outrigger canoe when we were in Hawaii. And then living here, we've got the Columbia River, and I really wanted to interact and do more with the river because we live in a desert and I need that water to be a part of my life. And I was riding my bike along the path, the path by the river, and I saw an outrigger canoe and I was like, what? And there was people there. And so I stopped my bike and I started talking to them and I was like, can I come paddle with you? And they're like, yes. And so I just was like, yeah, tell me when, where. And I started paddling with this canoe club. And then we were considering leaving the Tri-Cities because I've, not been super happy living in the desert. And then, but my husband's been super happy with his work. And so there's kind of like this, like back and forth, like, what do we need to do? And I was like, in order for me to enjoy living here, I need to be closer to the river and have it be part of my lifestyle. So we moved closer to the river and we bought kayaks and we bought paddle boards and we can just walk down there and it's made a huge difference. Nice. So yeah. Okay.
So what's something that scares you, but you do it anyway?
I'm laughing. Oh, there's a lot of those things.
Really?
Like being a parent.
Oh yeah. That is terrifying.
Like, I don't know how to, my kids just keep getting older and I'm like, well, never done this before. Cooking.
Really? You're such a good cook.
Cooking for other people terrifies me.
Really?
Yes.
You're so good at it though.
That part. Well, maybe. I don't know. I've done it many years now.
Yeah.
But I would say, and I have to do it anyway because we all have to eat.
Yeah. So was having a family as rewarding as you thought it would be?
Totally.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good.
Short answer. Yes.
Yes.
Totally. Yes, I really wanted to be a mom. I really wanted to have kids and I do now. And it's very rewarding. It's freaking hard in a lot of ways, but I am so, so thankful and so happy with my amazing kids. Yeah.
Okay. So What are you looking for out of life?
What am I looking for out of life?
Mhm.
I think I want to have a positive impact on those around me.
Mhm.
I'm looking to reflect hope and love to people that I come in contact with. Enjoyment is a high priority for me. So out of life, I really want to experience things that are enjoyable. And I think be connected to people and make it better. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Make the world a better place.
Okay. So I have a few more questions, but these are based on, there's this guy named James Lipton that used to have this show called Inside the Actor Studio, and he'd bring famous people on and he always asked them at the end of the interview this series of questions. And it's just rapid fire, first thing that comes into your head.
Okay.
What is your favorite word?
Word?
Like a word you just really like.
I don't think I've ever thought about this before.
You're welcome.
My favorite word?
Yeah.
I don't have one.
Like a word you just like the sound of. A word that you like the meaning of. Did anything pop into your head?
No.
Okay. That's
Sorry.
a good sign.
I can't pick a favorite word. Never thought of it before.
Okay. What's your least favorite word?
What?
I think
I'm not one of those people that has a problem with words like moist or whatever.
No, but I could see, for me, like looking into your life, I think you don't like the word can't or no. Like you don't.
Oh, yeah. I don't like the word can't for sure.
Yeah.
We'll just go with that.
Okay. What turns you on? Not sexually, but in life. Like what gets you going, like makes you want to get out of bed in the morning.
There's a lot of things.
Let's just pick one that popped into your brain.
The sun.
That makes sense. What turns you off?
Cold.
What sound or noise do you love?
Ocean.
What sound or noise do you hate?
I know there's one, and I'm trying to think of what it is. You see how I block all the things that I hate? I can't access them very quickly.
It's amazing. Like
I have to really think about it.
All of that
I'm like,
shit is on the surface for me. So I'm like, dang.
I'm like, where is it? I have to really focus. Like, what do I hate? What sound do I hate? Can you give me some ideas?
I mean, it could literally be like the sound that like high heels make on the floor, or the sound that flip-flops make when people have sweaty feet, or that's a lot of shoe related. The sound of a lawnmower, the sound of a leaf blower, I
don't hate any of these sounds.
The sound of a frog next to your ear because you know it's going to jump on your face. Like
a mosquito in my ear. Hate that.
Okay. What's your favorite curse word? So,
I don't know. I don't curse very often.
I know.
So, like favorite curse word that I use or favorite curse word that I reserve?
Whatever you like.
I don't know. I don't really curse that much, but probably the F word.
Nice.
Which I don't really say very much.
No, I've only heard you cuss a few times. Okay. What profession other than one that you have would you like to attempt?
What profession would I like to attempt? I mean, I'm not going to.
No. But if you you started over and you weren't going to be a full-time mom, what would you've done after you knew you didn't like teaching? Like now that you've had this purview of like this whole world of different ways people
live.
Things
that I would think I would like and enjoy. I think I'd really enjoy being an occupational therapist.
Oh, yeah, I could see that.
Or a recreational therapist.
I could see that. Okay, what profession would you not like to do?
Oh, there's so many. Dentist. No, thank you.
Okay. And if heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Hey! I'm so glad you're here.
Nice. That was good. I feel like I learned a lot about you.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, and is there anything that people would be surprised to know about you?
Well, I just learned that one of my friends was very surprised to know this about me. And she's known me for 7 years. Apparently she never knew that I have my brown belt with a black stripe in karate.
I'm sorry. I did not know that.
You did not know that either?
I did not know that. Okay.
Yeah. Which is just like pretty close to a black belt.
Okay.
Don't mess with me.
I'm afraid. I see your guns are out. Like you're ready to go. If you're enjoying the podcast and would like to support the show, you can share episodes with your friends and family, follow us on Instagram at the Geriatric Millennials, or leave us a positive review and rating, all which help us to grow. Our theme music was created by the Finley Ghost. Check out their latest album now. Thank you so much.